Hi, in today's video I will show you how to spawn a URDF, a custom URDF in Gazebo workspace. So let me first open the terminal and run the ROS core, which is the master node. Okay, so first of all we will look at the package. We have the warm robot. In warm robot we have the URDF. So it's the file. Let me open. So basically it's the URDF stand for the Unified Robot Description Format, which ultimate gazebo support, right? So here's the URDF file. Now here's the one thing. If I open a new terminal, no windows. If I do ROS node list, so I have only ROS node, and if I do ROS topic list, I have this these topic by default running. Okay, so if I open a gazebo, so when you install the ROS, the gazebo simulator, install like an app here, what you can do, you can just launch it from the terminal gazebo. So the problem here is if you like directly, it's like, and you just click the gazebo from the windows, it's like opening gazebo from the app. So the problem here is if I do a ROS node list, it's the same node which is running before. If I do ROS topic list, so these are the two topic which was running default. So the gazebo is not registered with the ROS, right? So what we have to do is we don't have to run the gazebo directly, right? So let me first of all show you how we can like run the gazebo that registered with ROS, right? So I just ROS run gazebo ROS. If you double tap, we have a lot of option. So there is control and other plugins, messages. So I have to run ROS run gazebo ROS, and then we have a gazebo right here. If I copy and type gazebo, so gazebo will be open. And if I do ROS node list, so gazebo a node is running, so it's registered with ROS, right? If I do ROS topic list, so these are the topic regarding which is registered with ROS, right? So now the thing is how we can import this URDF file here, right? With origin. Okay, so we have a command, it's called ROS run. If I say okay, let me make the terminal bigger. Open this terminal, new window. Okay, so if I say ROS, wait, let me go to Catkin workspace and SRC. It's not necessary, but it's a good practice. Okay, so ROS run gazebo ROS. If I double tap again, so we have a spawn model, right? It's a node that we have to run, right? So if I say spawn model, so if you double tap, so it showed me the file. So it's not the we have to give the it's not the file I mean it's the file it's showing, right? So we have to do is to specify the path where the URDF file is, right? So it's in the URDF folder. It's like catkin src warm robot and URDF folder. If I open a terminal, if I do a pwd and ls, so this is the path of the URDF file, right? If I copy it, okay, and where is the terminal? Okay, here is the terminal. Oh, not this one, but yeah, this one. Okay, so we have to do is ROS run gazebo ROS spawn model. Then what we have to do is we have to specify, okay, we have the file, right? And control shift v paste. Okay, then after this what we have is the file name, which is warmrobot.urdf slash warmrobot.urdf. After this what we have to do is we have to specify this is a URDF file. After this we have to give the model name. It's called model, model. you can call it my robot or warm robot, whatever you name it. Okay, after this what we have is the orientation or the position of the robot in the gazebo. So I will say x equal to, for example, if I say x, then it will be in x direction. The red one is the x direction, right? So x is, for example, we have 1 dot 0, then we have y 0 dot 0, and z 0 dot 0. So if I do this, so it say okay, loading the model XML file from this location, waiting for the services, and here is the URDF file in the gazebo, right? I can view the joints. This is the URDF file, okay, and it's on. If you see, the one grid is single point, right? So I specify 1 here. So the origin of the robot is 1 grid away from the origin position. Okay, so this how you export your URDF file to the gazebo. So this is the practice we don't have to do all the time, right? So what we have to do is we have to create a launch file which open the gazebo. When the gazebo get open, so we have to spawn the URDF file automatically, right? So we have to make our life easier. So what I do is, like, I have the launch file here. Whenever you create your URDF file using a CAD software like SolidWorks, so these launch file is created automatically. So it's called gazebo.launch. So I will explain here and wait. So first of all, we have the launch text here. Okay, after this what we have is the ROS gazebo ROS, and its launches an empty word, right? This is like this. All we have is we are running the node. So what we are doing is we are putting all the node in a single launch file here. So these are the, like, you can say it's the supporting nodes, and this is also a fake joint calibration. It's also a supporting node. So the main thing is the spawn stuff work here, right? It's a node, and it's called the spawn model gazebo, and it's basically it's called the arguments. So this is like you can say it's like the bash language. We have to in SRC it will find the warm robot package, and inside the robot package it will say the URDF, look for the URDF folder. In URDF folder it will look for its file. And what we just like do in the terminal here, okay, not this one, like we specify the model and position. You can also specify the model and position. If you don't specify the model, so it will be like by default origin position for the robot, right? So let me kill every node, okay, and open a terminal again. If I say raw score, if I say cd catkin cd src, okay, oh wait, let me open this so we can make it bigger. Okay, cd catkin cd src, and if I say ROS launch warm robot, and if I double tap, so I have display.launch and gazebo.launch. So if I say okay, launch the gazebo.launch, let's see what it launch. So first of all it will launch the gazebo simulator, and inside the gazebo simulator it's launched the URDF file, right? So as you see, we don't specify the position in the launch file, so by default the origin of the robot align with the origin of the simulator, right? So this is how we spawn URDF file by a command line and by a launch file, right? Another thing which which is a handy thing is called the service. Whenever you just launch like you just run the gazebo with ROS, so we have a ROS services, like you just put something in it, like service is like you call a service, it provide you a service, right? It's a major thing in ROS after like ROS topic and list. So if I say ROS service call, and we have if I double tap, so these are services available right now. These are services related to gazebo. Okay, so if I say gazebo, if I double tap again, so these are some services related to the gazebo. Okay, then we have to spawn. If I say spawn, then we have the URDF model. Okay, URDF, if I double tap, so it will auto press automatically, right? So this is another handy where you just specify your XML file, robot namespace, and the origin, position and the orientation of the robot, right? I just delete the model and reference frame. So I was giving the model, I don't know, I was getting some errors. I will look into this, and I will give the command how it works. But right now, if I'm specifying the XML file is basically, if you open the URDF file, it's basically an XML file, right? uh, with extension URDF, right? So I don't know, it's giving me error. I will solve, and I will just copy the command and paste in the comment section below. So this is how, like, I just show you by a command line, by a launch file, and by a ROS service call. So, like, it's up to you. If you say, okay, you don't want to call the uh, the URDF, spawn URDF from a command line, you can just also call a ROS service in launch file. Like, you want to do, okay, I want to just run the gazebo simulator. I don't want to run the node, I want to call a service, right? As you launch the gazebo, the service is available to call, right? So after services available, you can just also put this stuff here, so you can, like, it's a handy thing, you can do multiple stuff with it, right? So this is how, like, if your URDF file is okay with no errors, so it will launch successfully. Okay, if you have any question, just let me know. Thank you.